are having certain type of feelings, certain emotions, especially with these times of uncertainty and of just basically a lot of uh, chaos, right? And a lot of us, including myself, we like we're creatures of habit. I mean, I know myself. Uh, What's up? What's going on, everybody? We are back. We're back, and yes, took a fresh shower once again. Once every 2 days. No, I'm just kidding. We're back, and I wanted to share just a quick insight, obviously from psychocybernetics, and just something that I'm trying to make these videos relatable to what's going on right now, what most of us are feeling. If you're not, that's fine. But I think most of us naturally are having certain type of feelings, certain emotions, especially with these times of uncertainty and of just basically a lot of uh, chaos, right? And a lot of us, including myself, we like we're creatures of habit. I mean, I know myself. I have my routines in the morning. Um, you know, I have my either the gym meditation to the kids and then do what I have to do. And the routine was kind of gradual. We had in other words, we call that control. And now I think for most of us, that carpet has been basically taken away from us, from under our feet. Right? We've kind of now have to act accordingly as we go. And this the routine has kind of been, I think, not even taken away, but just doesn't exist. And that's why I think a lot of us having, I know myself, these emotions of like uncertainty of like what's gonna happen. And I think what I've been realizing for myself during this quarantine is that most of the emotions that I have are are mostly fears. And sorry about that. So yeah, so most of our feelings that I know for myself are, I've noticed I have a lot of fears, and the fears that come up in these times of uncertainty of what's gonna happen. Always go back to moments where I felt like a failure. I felt like I've let people around me down. I felt like I have um, not met the expectations of others, and these are the moments that I remember now in these times of what's gonna happen, and what's there's no, a lot of us have lost jobs, school has been canceled. It's a time of chaos, and I feel that, I think as a human being, naturally you run towards your emotions, and when there's no type of order as far as keeping your emotions in order, as they say, they tend to go crazy. And here, Maxwell Maltz gives a quick example on how our minds are built for. They're basically memory machines, and it has its own habits. For example, he gives we have memories of failure and memories of success, and they're built into our brains, ingrained. And no matter how long ago it was that it happened, they can always pop back up. I think that's also explains, like, sometimes you listen to a song, and a song gives you a certain memory of somebody or something, even though it might have been 10, 15, 20 years ago. That is one of the things that we talk about, as far as he talks about, that it gives you that memory even though it's been a long time ago. And sorry about that, little technical difficulty, but here we go again, back to what Maxwell Maltz was talking about, how the mind can easily tap into those emotions of failure or success that we've had in life. And we're not talking about, he says, he's not talking about major success, like maybe starting a grandiose company, or maybe how can I say, these type of success that are kind of like goals that we've always had and we dreamed and we accomplished. He's talking about success as small successes, like those feelings of, for example, you always wanted to. pass that class and you passed it. You wanted to. He says you might have had a crush on a certain individual, and that individual chose you over somebody else that you were kind of a rival and whatnot. Those in your mind are small successes for you as an individual, although it sounds shallow. But yes, these are small wins that we have as individuals that we feel that we remember, and and then you have failures that maybe you might have not gotten that promotion. Maybe you didn't make the team. I know for me, maybe you didn't make a certain team, make a cut. You got cut from a team, from a athletic sporting event, or I know for me, other failures would have been, I would say, when I wanted to be in a part of a band in high school and I didn't pass the audition, I didn't get accepted. These are small failures that we have along the way. And we remember those in our subconscious, right? They're very ingrained in there, but they're remembered. So he says we have a choice on whether to be aware of what it is that's, coming up now at this, at an older age, you're developed, you're an adult, on what and how you react to these events. So when we have future failures or future successes, we kind of reinvigorate or kind of relive those memories now. And I know for me, I'm realizing that now with these times of uncertainty, I'm realizing that a lot of the failures that I've had are the only things coming up, right? None of the good things that I did, that I overcome, that I accomplished, that, when I lost my job in 2008, that I came back and basically rebuilt myself again, like, those accomplishments don't really come up. What really comes up is the recession that hit in 2008, how I felt and what happened and what I ended up doing to get back on track. My past relationship failures and all these things that come up on are the things that come up. The good things don't come up. And then it's inspired also by Jay Shetty. He talks about a video earlier about how we always tend to remember all the bad things, but we don't remember the good things and the good times. And especially when we have going through a time that we kind of feel that it's a tough time or a bad time, anxiety kicks in, and all you remember is all the bad things, and it increases the anxiety, and it makes you be a lot more, I think, on edge, right? And Maximum Waltz here tells us that we can become aware of our emotions, and when we do feel those feelings, start accessing the small successes in our past as opposed to remembering all our failures in the past. And once you start becoming more accustomed to that feeling of success, and he talks about having that feeling of success in any part of life, and that talks about career, family, what else? Just mentally and emotionally wellness. So he gives an example. Let me give you guys real quick what that means. So basically, I remember where that success. Where is it? So success is the winning feeling. It basically is recapturing that winning feeling and evoking the winning actions. So with that feeling, because everything's feeling, right? When you have that feeling of winning or success, you start taking action with that confidence, with that, I would say, faith, right? And diligency that you're able to overcome anything that comes at you, and you've been through certain things before, and you're able to do it again. So I think in these moments that we're going through right now, we have to be able to tap into that, right? To be able to tap into the successes you had, the things you have overcome so far, and how far you've come, and let this roadblock right now not let it, I would say, basically belittle or take you out. Be able to sustain it, acknowledge it, and move forward. And if we're like anybody else, our fears are gonna be here. They're not gonna go anywhere. We have to be ready to accept it, learn it, and acknowledge that we're scared. I'm scared. Everybody's scared. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know how long this is gonna sustain. Be around for. Life has changed for a lot of us, and I think it's something that everybody's taking an impact, and everybody adjusts, I think, differently, right? And I think empathy, practicing empathy, gratitude. I read an article today about how we're quarantined here in the U.S., but in Africa right now, a lot of people being told to stay home, but if they stay home, they won't be able to eat, and then if they go outside in the streets, they can get sick. So it's like either you stay home and die of starvation, or you go out and get some food and die. So think about that perspective on how good we have in the U.S. That although we're struggling to be inside and being told not to go outside, at least we're not gonna starve if we stay home. Most of us, for the most part, we have a lot of, um, you know, I would say food, and if you don't, you can find resources that are available online that access for people that need food. But in the U.S., we are very fortunate with a lot of abundance in food, and although we're forced to be home, we don't have to decide whether we're gonna starve or we're gonna get sick. Right? We can stay home and still be uh, safe. Right? Stay safe. And the opposite might happen. We might gain weight. We might become obese. Right? So that was my gratitude perspective today on, sometimes you wish things were different, but at least we're safe and we're home and we have nothing to worry about at home, as opposed to real dangers of starving and dying in other parts of the world. So if this take anything away from this video, is that right now, these moments that we're going through, let's think about the times that we overcome certain things that we thought we can never overcome, and how we got through it. It wasn't easy. It was probably one of the toughest times in our lives, but we got through it. And I think this as well, we will get through this as well. We're all in this together. You, myself, we all in this. And I'm hoping you guys stay safe and everybody stay well. So I'll see you next video. Peace.